Blessings, blessings, blessings to you, amazing souls. You God bless people, children of God. I hope you're all having an amazing day, living your life to the fullest from your truth, knowing that you are a wonderful being, blessed with gifts that are beyond your wildest dreams. But you do have to take time to recognize these gifts. And we're still on one of our key gifts, which is understanding. Understanding is a spiritual attribute that we use every day in our lives. We must understand for us to grow. We must understand ourselves before we can understand each other. So today, it is just a blessed day for us to tune in to understand ourselves a little more. And that's why I'm here. Because we are in a whirlwind when we do not understand ourselves. We're in a world of confusion when we do not understand ourselves. And God has given us this amazing gift. And with this gift, we will experience freedom of spirit when we know how to use it. First, we have to understand our I am potential. Our I am is the Spirit of God in us to achieve, that will enable us to achieve anything that our hearts desire. So I want us to remember that when we use the word I am, it must be of all positive. It cannot be of anything negative. You're speaking the truth of your being to claim your desires with the word I am. That is our privilege from God. We are children of God, remember that. So when you say I am, use it with the power that it is invested with. The power to create beyond your wildest dreams. So take some time and think of what you want to create before you use that word I am. Because if you use it in a negative way, that's what will be reflected upon you. So look at where your life is today and know how you are using those two special words, I am. It makes one word because we are one, all inclusive. We are one. So this little path that I am on is to help us understand our oneness with the love of God in us, that light. So for understanding, we need clarity. We need to tune in. We need to take time to be still. And it is in the stillness that we also learn and grow. So from this concept, we've been living a lie, a big lie. I would say it's an illusion. We're all in an illusion. We are all living an illusion. We claim it is our reality. It's not, guys. We're living other people's reality for generations gone by. We've been living what other people teach other people to do, man's law. And that's why we are suffering, because we're not living our true reality. We're living the reality of what our parents and their parents and their parents told them to do. And the problem, it becomes a problem when we don't realize this and just following blindly. doing what tradition says. And this is why I use the word domestication, because we're all domesticated. We were born into domestication. This means that we were told to do things, and if it wasn't done the way it was told to be done by that one person's reality, then we would be persecuted, would be judged, would be criticized. And so if you don't live up to the standards of society, you're criticized, you're put down, you're worth less, you're of no value. And that's what we've been placed in, that's what's been placed in our heads, in our minds all these years, and we repeat it to ourselves, and so we become judgmental upon ourselves. And it's easy to judge others because we don't want to judge ourselves. We want to be excluded from judgment. We want to make things perfect. We want to be seen as the smart one. We want to be seen as the one that is the good one. We want to be seen as the one that follows direction well. When we don't follow direction, we feel that we are less than. And it's because of how we were raised, even as a child. You know, you were sent to school, and you are told to learn according to what the teacher says, and you are to place yourself to come first in the class, or you're placed to come first in a sports. And if you did not come first, then what happens is you're seen less than. So you internalize those feelings. When people tell you you're stupid, you're no good, all the negative words that you can think of that you have been told as a child, where are they coming from? From a parents who learned from their parents whose reality was very skewed, very limited, just as my reality is limited, teaching my children to do what tradition taught me to do. And when it's not done the way society wants it to be done, then they are penalized. We are all penalized, and we are all still criticizing ourselves, still being judgmental, still torturing ourselves with this belief. It is a false belief. It's an illusion. Each man's reality is their own. So we have to separate ourselves from the false belief and tune in and listen to the Word of God within your own heart space to realize your truth. Because if you keep doing what you're doing, you won't get anywhere fast. You must change old, stale, non-provisional habits to habit consciously make your habits before they make you unconscious. And so the first thing that we have to become aware of where we are in this old mess, because they're not telling us the truth. So we have to become aware, and we have to explore our own truth within us to find the steps to take. Today, I am going to tell you that you can start taking steps to change those old judgmental way by recognizing that they are there. That's the first way, recognizing that we do what we do. Because, as I said, we're in a fog. And when we're in a fog, if we don't recognize that we need to take time, dress back, pull back, sit by yourself, ponder upon things, ponder why you do things this way versus the other way. And if it was done the other way, how how much better would you be? Because the better is all about what's happening inside of you. How much of the turmoil is turned off. So this is what I'm asking all of us to take time to do. Spend time and look at ourselves, because you see, when we're in a fog, it's hard to determine that. So the most important thing for me is to sit back, ponder upon things, read the Word of God, ponder upon it, reflect on your life, do some introspection, and then you'll get some answers. Sometimes the answers aren't what we're looking for, but actually you'll get something that guides you on the right path. So my brothers and sisters, today, understanding ourselves is the key, because it helps us to relate to others when we realize that we're all in this big ball of mess. That's what I'm gonna call it, together. My parents and your parents and everyone's parents were taught things from man's perspective, from man's reality, and we are following that. So right now, even though we're in this torturous state, we can't blame anyone. We cannot blame our parents, because they learned from someone else. And blaming, as I said, it's easy to do because we escape going within ourselves and exploring our own truth. It's easier to say, you did it, she did it. Don't you realize how good that feels, guy, when you blame someone? You feel good, even when it's a lie. You feel good because guess what? You don't have to think about you. You don't have to go inside of you and work on your own truth and seek forgiveness. Because when you recognize that something is off inside, you will need to seek forgiveness. And when we tend to cover that, when we cover it up, and pretend that nothing is wrong, even though we know it's a lie, we know that we're blaming other people because we're afraid of looking at our own self. We know it's not true, but we still feel better because we are not taking the time to look at ourselves. We escape the opportunity to look at ourselves by pointing the finger, when in fact, whatever we see out there to point at, it is happening right inside of us. So I'm asking you, before we point fingers, let's take time out and think, what is this showing me? Because it really is showing you something that needs to be understood. This is how God works in understanding. So in our life right now, I believe that most of us are just living our life on the physical plane without knowing if we're coming or going. Then some of us are in the point where we start to become aware that something is off. We're becoming aware that this physical thing is just breaking us down, breaking our body down, breaking our spirit down, but it's not getting us anywhere satisfactory. So when we take time out and we start thinking and reflecting, we start becoming awakened. This is where the awakening starts. When you realize that we've been living in a lie for all these years, living other people's reality, not our own, and it's time to start focusing on our own true reality. But we have to go within. So now we're starting to awaken. How do we get awakened? We have to spend time in the stillness. This is why I keep telling you, be still, tune in, go into that heart space, because it's only when we do that we find some resolution. We can find some peace. And frankly, immediately when you shift your mind into your heart space and block out external forces and just stay in that still space, you actually start feeling the peace that surpasses our understanding. The peace of God surpasses all human understanding. So this is why, guys, we have to go to God in prayer, because it's His peace. Without His peace, we do not understand. When you're in confusion, you cannot understand. You have to take time out. So for me, I believe once we start meditating, reflecting, then we start becoming more awakening. Once we connect, unite our heart and our mind into that still space, that's where I feel that we meet our true awareness of the I am, that I am. It is a very still, subtle voice, and you will not hear anything immediately. You will not hear anything for a long time sometimes, but in that stillness, things will be revealed to you at a later time. For instance, my story is I've been practicing, and 1 step forward, 2 steps back. And so every day I meditate, I do my work, read my Bible, ponder on my days, give thanks, being grateful, and continue to serve. Daily, I'm going to serve joyfully, gratefully, happily. But there was a place that I had to serve, and I wasn't happy going there, because I entertained the people that I encountered there was very negative, and most of the time people would say they're mean, they have nothing nice to say. And so at this facility, I really didn't like this one particular woman. And everybody complained about her, but I didn't have to work in there, so I didn't have to really deal with her. But when I go there, I encountered her, and I didn't like her at all. And while I'm praying one day, I really was fatigued with her behavior, how she treat other people, mostly, because not me. I'm not going to tolerate it. So, I was like so perturbed. I went home, and I'm usually chilling, having a drink and my cigarette at the time. And I'm pondering, and I'm talking to God, because I just talk to God. I'm like, God, why do I hate this bitch? What is it about her that made me just resent her? I resented her so much that instead of entering the front gate of this place, I used the side gate where the pool is, where I would avoid seeing her. So I couldn't understand it, because I don't usually have that resentment in me for people. So when I pondered upon it and I asked God, I said, God, help me, show me, because I'm trying to do what is right. I would go and say, hello, how are you? And some days she would not even answer me. So I stopped speaking with her. I stopped speaking to her. I just avoid her. Well, after I pondered upon this and I spoke to God about it that specific evening, I really wasn't expecting anything, but surprise, shockingly, amazing surprise. The following day, when I returned to this place and I'm entering through the side gate again, because I just didn't want to see this lady who popped out, and she bounced out with more energy than I had going in that place. She's like, oh, hi, Marcia. How are you today? Who are you here to see? Can I help you with? I could not believe this. I was so shocked and so pleased, but very shocked. I'm like, what happened? But on my way home, I realized that God answered prayer. I was praying to God, even though it was in a conversation, but I was literally telling God that I didn't like that feeling that I have. It's not a feeling of growth. It's not a feeling that is enlightening to others or inspiring, and that's my role in life, is to inspire and to grow. So with that and all, I realized that, you know what? That was because I put it to God in prayer. And it wasn't the first time I prayed about it, but this time the answer was so real and on time that I really recognized the working of God in what I think and what I say and what I do. I started to realize it. So guys, you too can realize it. And for this understanding that I want you to understand, how you have to break away from your generational, your cultural way of living and find your truth, because what you've been told all these years is somebody else's truth, not yours. And so this is why we're all in a confusion. But when we take time out, God will slowly but surely show us the way. And even when we are not looking, but we are speaking to God, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. That's what my minister told me, and I believe that in truth. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. But my dear brothers and sisters, I'm asking you to start finding it in yourself to spend time and tuning to God. I am understanding. I am understanding. I have an inner knowing that transcends my intellect. And so I'm going to add on a little more for us because we want help from the Spirit. So I'm going to say, I am understanding, and I am going to ask God to speak into my words, think into my thoughts, and work into all my deeds by giving us understanding. So maybe we could just add that on to the affirmation. I am understanding. I have an inner knowing that transcends my intellect. Remember, the peace of God surpasses all man's intellect. It transcends us. It transcends our understanding. That's the understanding of God. So we have to put all that we do in His understanding. So when I surrender my speech, my action, and what I do to Him, I trust that when I step out, He will give me understanding in each moment. I don't have to be confused. I am strong in understanding. I am strong in the source of who I am. That is my Christ, my Lord and my Savior, and the God of all people. I love you guys. I bless you, and I pray that we will continue on this path. And so in this consciousness, I'm going to say, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and so it is. So we just have to take time out, tune in, use our I am in the most positive way. Nothing negative can be attached to it. Remember that. And we're going to take our love light, we're going to bring it wherever we are. We're going to shine it bright and shine for everyone to see, and so they too may be inspired. Have a wonderful, blessed day.